At our park, we had a slide that was about 60 feet high. One pipe, and the most popular, went down at an 80-degree angle. It was completely open. You sat down and slid down the 60 feet within 2 seconds. Quite a thrill, really. 2 guards manned the ride, one at the bottom and one at the top, to control the antics of the guests at all times. Then, I see a kid take 2 steps backwards. I know what he is about to do. He must be stopped, I think. But alas, what am I to do? I have no way to contact the lifeguard up top. There is no phone, no radio. I blow my whistle twice. The guards nearby look at me. The guard at the top turns around to find the source of my noise, to find me pointing at the kid. Too late. The kid ran and jumped clean off of the slide. Now up to this point in my life, I had been afraid of things. But nothing, in all of my life, had made me this scared until now. Seeing a young man fall to his impending doom and being powerless over it makes you feel terrible. Feeling, by some extension of logic, that you are indirectly responsible for this makes it even worse. Never in my life have my stomach and jaw dropped so fast. To his credit, he assumed the proper position of arms and legs being crossed, but now he was clean in the air, flying like a lead brick. As he did so, his body turned ever so slightly. It was something he noticed and fruitlessly tried to correct for. Instead, he fell some distance before hitting inside the flume and chaotically tumbling down the ride. I called the paramedics immediately, and we had to backboard this kid out of the splashdown flume. The kid messed up his neck pretty badly, broke his fibula, I think. He was carted off in an ambulance and put in a brace the moment we got him out. They said he was fine. He walked again, much to my surprise.
I used to work at an old amusement park that was known for its thrilling rides and eerie atmosphere. It was a summer job that I took to earn some extra money before heading off to college. Little did I know, the park had a dark secret that would haunt me forever. One night, as I was closing up a ride called The Haunted Manor, I noticed something strange. The animatronic figures that were supposed to be motionless suddenly started moving on their own. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural red light, and their movements became more erratic with each passing second. I tried to stay calm and rationalize what was happening, thinking it might be a malfunction or a prank. But the air grew colder, and a sense of dread washed over me. As I made my way through the dark corridors of the ride, I could hear whispers echoing in the distance. The voices were sinister and seemed to be coming from all directions. Unable to ignore the growing unease, I decided to call for help, but when I reached for my phone, it was gone. I searched frantically, but it had vanished without a trace. Panic set in as I realized I was completely isolated, trapped in the haunted manor with the malevolent animatronics. I made my way to the exit, hoping to escape the nightmare that had consumed the amusement park. But as I reached the door, it slammed shut, trapping me inside. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with a cacophony of haunting voices. Shadows danced on the walls, and the figures of the animatronics seemed to come alive, their movements more sinister than ever. I tried to find another way out, but every path led me deeper into the darkness. The park had transformed into a labyrinth of horrors, and I was its unwilling prisoner. Time lost all meaning as I wandered through the twisted corridors, desperate for an escape that seemed impossible. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I stumbled upon a hidden door. With a surge of hope, I pushed it open and found myself outside, gasping for breath. The night air was a welcome relief, and the silence of the park was a stark contrast to the nightmares I had just experienced. I never returned to that amusement park, but the memory of that night still haunts me. I often wonder if it was all just a vivid hallucination or if the park truly held a dark secret. Regardless, I learned to trust my instincts and to never underestimate the power of fear, especially in places that are meant to bring joy and laughter.
I was alone in the front seat of a mine train-style coaster, and the operator started the ride without putting the safety bar down. It was in the last hour of operation, probably between 9 to 10 p.m., so there wasn't much of a line, and I was riding the coaster over and over to kill time before I met my group at closing. Some fireworks had just started, so the queue was completely empty. and the operators were flirting and goofing off and didn't notice a short 10-year-old slip into the front seat. They all held up their hands to clear the train. This was a classic mine train with 3 bench cars. The restraint is a T-bar that is locked in the up and down position and can only be moved manually when a pedal on the outside of the car is held down by an operator, and all 3 bars move at once. They cannot be closed individually by the riders. Empty cars can run safely with the bar up, so they hadn't noticed me and didn't bother to lower the restraint. The restraint doesn't touch the riders or hold them down. It just keeps you from standing up or slipping forward and sideways out of the open section on either side of the seat. It also provides a reassuring place to hang on to. I was very experienced with the ride, and probably would have been fine with my usual practice of placing my feet on the front wall of the car and bracing in my seat, which was possible due to my short stature, and I would have gripped the sidebar mounted near the rider's shoulder. But of course, I screamed my head off to get the operator's attention. Luckily, the first part of the ride just snakes around a bit and climbs the first of 3 short lift hills. They stopped my train on the first hill, and an attendant climbed the stairs to close the restraints for me.